And thank you for joining me this afternoon, Karen, and for coming in to talk to us about your breast cancer journey. As you know, Avon is celebrating Breast Cancer Month this year in October. And Avon is very, very big on the whole breast cancer crusade. But you know what? It's so global that we want to hear about your journey with breast cancer. So,
Mhm. Well, thank you, first of all. And I just want to share my gratitude in the opportunity. And I think this is a wonderful initiative that you are putting forward in such a global presence that when you're talking to the source and you're getting the information direct from people who are going through the journey, I really think it makes an emotional connection. And so I hope I can bring that to your audience today and sharing my journey. So thank you.
you're welcome. So, Karen, let's go back to that day. I hope you don't mind me taking you back to that day when you got the diagnosis that you
Mhm.
had breast cancer. What
Yes.
was that like? What prompted you to go get tested, or tell us about that?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I've always done the testing. So as you know, they do the breast screening testing, and I was a big advocate of that. I was always very focused on ensuring that I get those appointments done, and I did. And I had gone through a period of time. I had faced some adversity on a personal note, which had me uh, leaving a marriage of 25 years and being off on my own, and really working through that specific journey even prior to diagnose. And so I what had happened to me is I was dealing with some pain. Now, this is not emotional pain, this is physical pain. And I'm going to bring you back to March of 2020. And so we all know, of course, the global was 2020, but physically, I was feeling a lot of pain in I'm going to say the right side of my body. And what was happening is I was feeling hip pain. So you think hip pain, okay? So I didn't connect the hip. I didn't even have any idea what was going on, but I knew that something wasn't right. And I think intuitively in our bodies we know.
Mhm.
And so I started to get physio. I made a move to Ottawa, Ontario from Toronto, and I hooked up with some therapists. So I was going for physio, and the more physio I was having, the more hurt I was feeling. So I knew
Wow.
that there was something not connecting. So from there, in talking to him, he had suggested that I go have some more testing done and reach out to my doctor. So this brought me back to Newmarket. So I went to see my family doctor in Newmarket, and she was really puzzled. She said, I don't make the connection here. And I said, well, we've really got to do some research. So what she did was she had ordered some tests. So we started out with some your ultrasounds, your CT scans, MRIs. And as we know in the medical, those take a long
Long.
time to really happen. And as it worked out, I was fortunate enough that she had aligned all of these appointments in 1 week. So I went back to Newmarket for 1 week. And this would have been in July of 2020. And so I went to the appointments. And so I had the appointment on the Monday, on the Tuesday, and on the Wednesday was the MRI. And the results came back on the MRI. And I was sitting at my brother's house, and she said, "Are you by yourself?" And I said, "Well, I've got my brother with me and my family." And she said, "Okay." So she said, "You've been diagnosed with metastatic cancer." And I thought, okay, metastatic cancer. What does that mean? And so I thought, okay, well, I'll take. And she said, well, we've got to do some more tests. So subsequent days, more tests. Now I'm back in Ottawa, and so I'd moved. And my second night in Ottawa, I thought I can't deal with this pain anymore. I've got to go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital, and they had said, we've got your records, but they sent me back home. And I thought, no, this is not right. So I've got two siblings, a sister who actually has gone through breast cancer herself, and a brother who are both physicians. And they said, Karen, you need to take all of your medical reports that you had done in that week in Newmarket. You need to go back to the hospital to emerge. You need to physically show them that you've been just diagnosed with metastatic cancer. You live alone. You're in incredible pain, and you're not leaving. And I thought, okay, well, I know, we all know when we go back to emerge, we sit there, we sit there. So I sat there, but I didn't sit there long. I didn't sit there long. And I knew, and they knew, and I went on my own, went in a wheelchair, and I knew when I went around the corner, it said observatory care. And I thought, okay, something's happening here. So they looked at all my tests, they did more tests, and they said, well, you know what, we think that we're going to discharge. And I said, I'm not leaving this hospital. So what had happened from there, Anne, is I was admitted to the Ottawa hospital, and I spent 2.5 weeks. So in those 2.5 weeks was the time for them to figure out the connection of the hip pain to where this all originated. And it was originated in the breast.
Wow.
And so I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and the metastatic cancer was spread. So I had spread to the lungs and to the liver and to the bone. And so there I was, 2.5 weeks. My world, as you can imagine, had completely turned upside down. And this is now August of 2020. So my journey now into 2021 and August 2021, Anne. And so, here we are in October of 2022. So the last year of my life has been an incredible, incredible journey. And I have to say that the doctors and the staff at the Ottawa Cancer Center are unbelievable. And so I now have I really have a team of family of doctors. So I was diagnosed with palliative care. So I was in palliative care. And I had, we talk about, you have actually a doctor that strictly looks after your pain, that handles just your pain management for you. And so I have one of those, and I still have one of those. And I also have, of course, my radiologist, and I have my oncologist. And now they're talking about some orthopedic stuff, but I won't go into that today. But this is more around the breast cancer itself. So the message to everyone is ensure that you're doing the screenings, but ensure that you're listening to your body. And most of all, just be aware. And I'm not saying that cancer happens to everyone,
Right.
but I'm telling you, when I made that connection from the pain to the breast, they were even amazed. The staff were even amazed, because you're in 2.5 weeks in a hospital is a long time for them to sort out what it was. And there was no indication of going back to Sunnybrook or going to Princess Margaret or anything. I was very, very comfortable with the staff in Ottawa, actually very highly recommended as well. And so that's been my journey with the breast cancer. And when we talk about the remedies to help the cancer, and through, I didn't have I definitely had radiation. I did a very, very high blast, double dose they call it, of radiation to the areas because of the spread. And I am on an oral chemo, and I also go every 3 months to do what they call a bone, it's almost an infusion that they put through. So you see them, and you do it on the cancer unit where others are having their chemo, but I'm having what they call a bone transfer infusion. And what that is like a bone strengthening. So it's helping my bones, but I'm in very good spirits. I look at this, and I also work in a field of personal development and mindset. And to me, everything is mindset. It's how you think, and having that strength within, and that knowingness and belief that that you can do this. And so I'm on round 15 of my oral chemo. And I'm actually going next week because they did find some additional lesions in my left side now. So I'm starting to do 5 treatments, which will start next week. And you know, prepping for those treatments, you know, just on the radiation piece of it, because that's more, my body was very receptive to radiation, and the setting up of that is very interesting because they bring you into a CT scan and they do what they call tattooing. So it's very strategic in where they do the lasering of the radiation. So I
Oh,
had that done actually yesterday. And so I'm all set up for next week, and I'll do 5 consecutive treatments again. And we'll see what comes of that. But it's been, you know, you are going to get days, you're going to get, you know, good days and bad days. But you know, definitely the presence of breast cancer and just the funding around it and the exposure to communities has just been really unbelievable. So that's really my story, and I do say it with a smile because I honestly, I have to share, Anne, that I feel like this is a blessing. And that may sound very odd to a lot of people. How can this be a blessing to you?
mhm.
But I feel it's been a blessing to my life because I've attracted incredibleness to me. And I believe that this has allowed me to really become that person that I want to become, and just allow me to be Karen. And so it's been a phenomenal, been a really a phenomenal journey. So thank you.
Wow. Wow, Karen. I'm just listening to you and I'm so grateful for you sharing your story and being so real about it. But from the first time I met you, you have this glow. It's almost like a piece. You're so bubbly, no one would ever believe. How do you get up from one day? How does your family? Um,
Another great question, and thank you. I do have 2 children. I have a 26 and a 27-year-old, and my son actually just got married this past summer, so it was a beautiful thing. And you know, there was a lot of emotion around that because he was with me. Him and his fiance at that time had spent 6 months living with me, and you know, just having the support, you know, having somebody there to, when you're not feeling it, to make that cup of tea for you. There was a lot of nights where, you know, I'd sit down for dinner and I just didn't feel like eating, and you know, but there was never a moment of, I can't do it, mom, or you know what, I'm not able to handle this for you. My family, my immediate family, my brothers and my sisters, and my father, who's 93 years old, that's still living, have just been unbelievable, like really,
wow,
really unbelievable. And my sister Kathy, who, as I said, is a breast cancer survivor herself, going back many years. She has been on every single phone call, every single meeting, whether it come in on Zoom or phone or voicemail. Like, she's been in integral part, and so has my brother. So between the two of them, you know, and helping me, and also understanding, you know, what is going on. And I always said to my brother, you know, you make sure that you don't sugarcoat any of this for me. Like, if I'm dying, I want to know. If I have, you know, because when you're in the hospital, and in the shape that I was in when I went there for those 2.5 weeks to find out what I was diagnosed, is you're getting paperwork given to you. You're getting people wanting you to sign off on
son.
things, wanting to know. So, and at that time, I didn't even know. I just said, sure, I'll sign. Sure, sure, sure. Not even making any connection, because all I could think of was I don't need this. This too shall pass.
Yeah.
And so family has been an integral part in this journey. And my daughter, who is my primary caregiver, and she's been a rock, an absolute rock. Both the kids have been. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I can feel the love. I can really
Yeah,
feel the love
absolutely.
keeping you.
Yeah.
Is there, okay, thinking back, is there one item that, because I know, for example, getting dressed, just the feel, is there one item that kind of gave you a lift throughout your treatments and just getting you through the day?
Well, you talk about getting dressed up and we talk about our own self-image, right? Of who we want to show up as and
Yeah.
and that self-worth and self-esteem within us. And yeah, there was times where, I didn't want to dress up, or I didn't want to, put the old sweatpants on and a hoodie and be, and I'm just, this is me. And so you've got that opportunity to be that, but
Mhm.
you also have that opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I'm getting dressed up, and I have a niece who designs shoes, running shoes, and so she made me a pair of running shoes. And it's unfortunate I didn't have them here live to show you, but they're a pair of high tops. And she
Ooh.
created these for me. And if you go to my Facebook page, you'll see the picture of the shoes, me sitting on the stairs with a red shirt on, and I've got the shoes on. And so these shoes were what she had created for me because it gave her a lift. And when I wore them, and I felt, because they were a little platform, and I had some jeans on, and I felt strong. I wore them the other day to the hospital, and they're a conversation piece because a lot of people will stop me and say, hey, you know what, those are really great. And but I do have to add one thing from Avon, and
Ooh.
it's been a product that I have always used. And as we're sitting here, uh, it's I've got loads of them. I must have 12 of them all over the place. And it's one
Wow.
product that I have had for, I'm going to say, the last 8 years. And it is your Beyond Color. Interesting, as we call it, Beyond
Beyond
Color.
color.
The Beyond Color. And I've got the box, and I keep the box so that I know what it is because I have it right here. And I've got
Wow.
these everywhere. I've got, in every makeup bag I have, you'll find them. I've got them in my car. And so I keep the box so that I know when I go to order, I know
Order
what I'm
what to
ordering.
order.
But I'm telling you, this product is, it doesn't, it's, well, interesting, the Beyond Color take on it, but just what it does for your lips. And we all know when you put a lipstick on, it glows, but this just it makes you feel good, like just the texture of
Wow.
it and the moisture of it on your lips when when nothing else matters, but you know that your lips feel moisturized and
Right.
you feel really good about it. So that is one thing that I would highly, just even if you don't have what I'm going through, but I would highly recommend it. It's as I said, I keep the box. I've got plenty of them, and I share it all the time with people. So that I wanted to just add that in there, Anne.
I am so glad that Avon has been there to bring a smile, put the pep in your steps,
Yeah,
going through this struggle. And Karen, I'm sure that your story, I'm hoping it doesn't just stop here, but your story will bring motivation, help somebody else as they go through the journey or prepare them for the journey. Because I never would have assumed that having a hip pain could lead to breast cancer. I never ever would have. I thought it was the breast, you feel the lump, and which is what most of us are taught. You do your checks, right?
exactly.
Um, but thank you so much, Karen, for being so open, for being so willing to share your story and keep on smiling. And
Thank you,
we're
Anne.
here in your corner and we're cheering you on
Thank you.
because girl power. And
Yeah,
thank
no
you very
problem.
much.
You're so
Thanks.
welcome, and thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank Avon. As you all know, that Avon celebrates Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. And for the foundation, they're raising funds. So we sell, reach out to your Avon rep. I have the pin. I can't figure out which side. We have the pins, we have bracelets, everything, and 10% of all of proceeds go towards breast cancer. Avon worldwide has supported the foundation with over $815 million plus. So this is a fight that we embrace, and as reps, we it's our goal and our dream to one day see the end of breast cancer. So thank you again, Karen, and keep going, keep smiling.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.